All right. Hello, Melissa. Welcome.
Hello. Oh, yep, not muted.
All right. Well, welcome. We're happy to see you.
Sorry, I've had just conflicts constantly with being able to attend some of these meetings. So
Well, we're
it's nice
delighted to see you whenever you can make it. Hello, Judy.
Hello, good
How are
afternoon.
you?
I'm doing good.
Wonderful. I saw the pictures you posted on Facebook. That looks
Yeah.
amazing. So it was a
Yeah.
success?
It was, even though it rained, we were rainproof. And yeah, it was fun.
That's awesome.
Good morning,
Excellent.
Howard.
Good morning. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
Hello, Val. So nice to see you.
Good day. I'm here. Yay.
Excellent. Hello, Mark. I see you're connecting to audio.
Hey, yes, sorry, I'm just coming into the Zoom meeting. How are you?
Very well, very well. We appreciate your presence. So thank you for dialing in. And
Thank you for
Douglas,
having me.
welcome.
So I gotta go mute because I'm making a bunch of noise here.
All right. Well, we're happy to have you. Thank
You
you.
bet. I'm happy to have you there too. Thank you, Kim Burley.
All right. Well, I think we now have a critical mass. Hello, Lisa and Maddie. Welcome to the Environmental Rotary Club of Puget Sound. I am Kimberly Peterson, the president of the Environmental Rotary Club of Puget Sound. And I think we will start with introductions. So let's have your name and one interesting fact about you. So my name is Kimberly Peterson, and my interesting fact is I live in Washington, D.C. because I work for the federal government. But I did grow up in Lake Forest Park shoreline area, so I'm a legit Northwesterner here on the East Coast, from Washington to Washington with love. Let's see who else we have here. Douglas, are you able to do an introduction? Or maybe not. Okay.
Yeah, in a moment. Takes me a moment to come back.
All right.
So yeah, well, I have an interesting fact that when I was I've been thinking about it, when I was younger, I was a dog trainer.
I did not know that.
Well, see, there you go. Yeah, the trick was teaching people how to train their dogs, That's always the deal. So yeah, that's, something I used to do.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Douglas. Douglas is our treasurer. Judy McCulley, would you care to go next?
Sure, I'm Judy McCulley. I live in the shoreline area. Let's see, an interesting fact is that I grew up on the East Coast. I met my husband, Bill, out here in Port Angeles. I've been out here since '76, but I grew up in a family of 5, and I was 2 years old when my mom brought triplets home. So I learned to go independent pretty quickly. And I also was kind of the bane of my older sister, who was 5. She had a lot of responsibilities, so that's my interesting fact.
That's amazing. Thank you, Judy. Let's see. Val, would you care to go next?
Sure, I'll go next. I'm Val Stewart. I live in Duval and Sequim, back and forth, back and forth. One interesting thing about me is I was trained in New York City by the American Ballet Theater to teach ballet, and I taught dance for several years. And another interesting thing is that now I know 2 Lisa Yeagers in Rotary. My boss in Duval, her name is also Lisa Yeager by marriage, of course.
Amazing. That's such a fun fact. And I'm sorry, I forgot to mention that Judy McCulley is our foundation chair. And Val Stewart is our membership chair. Herb, would you care to go next?
Sure, yeah, I'm Herb Bowie. I live with my wife Pauline in North Seattle near Green Lake. See, continuing the canine theme, one interesting fact is that my wife and I have a 90-pound golden retriever. We just got back from a walk, and as with many walks, we had somebody remark, that is the largest golden retriever I've ever seen. So anyway, he's our third golden, so we enjoy him.
All right, wonderful. I think that is all the board members who are present. Basant, would you care to go next?
Sure. Hi, I'm Basant Singh. I'm a University District Rotarian and Assistant District Governor for District 5030. And interesting fact, for all those golfers there, last week we had Ryder Cup, and this week I'll be playing in our club's Ryder Cup tournament as well. So the best 20 golfers in Glendale, Bellevue.
Wow, excellent. That's great. So now let's see. Melissa Spear, would you care to go next?
Sure. Melissa Spear, I'm the Executive Director of TILF Alliance. I live in Queen Anne. Interesting fact, I don't know how interesting it actually is, but I have only been in Seattle for, it's coming up on 3 years. I spent 30 years out east in New Haven, Connecticut, but was raised in the San Francisco Bay Area. So have a little bit of an east-west coast thing going on. But I will say that Seattle is really different from growing up in the Bay Area. So even though it is the West Coast, it's a very different place.
I think that's very interesting. Thank you, Melissa. Lisa Yeager.
Yeah, hi all. Lisa Yeager joining from Ballard and continuing that dog theme. I have a series of Huskies and I'm learning how to do dry land mushing with our Husky, which is, you know, sort of what he was made to do, but it gets us both outdoors and enjoying. And I used to be a member of Seattle 4 Rotary. I'm on a bit of a hiatus from Rotary officially, although you all may pull me back. And I'm currently in the getting a master's program in the program, or getting a second master's in the program that's affiliated with Woodland Park Zoo.
Amazing. Well, I hope we can get you back because we love seeing you. Anne, welcome. Please introduce yourself.
Oh, I didn't realize I wasn't on mute. Hello. Gosh, catch me off guard with having to say something about myself. I was a member of the Lacey Rotary Club, but I haven't been going for quite a while. And I moved up to Sumner. And I love Rotary. So I was a Rotary exchange student long ago. And now I am doing environmental work at the city, but also working on my own I don't even know what to call it because it's not formalized, but community organization on some other environmental work. So that's about it.
Wonderful. Welcome.
Thanks.
And Anne is one of our newest members, so let's give her a round of applause. Christina with a C, welcome.
Hi, my name's Christina. I'm from Linwood, and this isn't that fun of a fact, but I am 5'2", and that's the only fact I can think of right now. So,
well, that's a wonderfully interesting fact. Thank you, Christina. Mark, are you able to introduce yourself?
I am going off in camera for a moment, so I'm on a walk actually.
Oh, beautiful! That's lovely scenery.
That's a nice view, yeah. So Mark Stoltz, I've been in the US for 10 years, and the interesting fact may be that I've lived in 3 continents, 8 countries, and 29 houses and counting, I would say. Currently living in Clyde Hill, Washington. And so I don't know who introduced himself as a golfer, but you know I'm in Overlake, so we might challenge you for a round sometime.
Excellent. Well, welcome, Mark. We're happy to see you. And I think that's everyone. So now I'd like to introduce, wait, before I introduce our illustrious speakers, let's,
Kim, Maddie is here.
oh, Maddie, oh, I'm so sorry. I did not mean to exclude you, Maddie. Welcome, Maddie.
No worries. Hi, my name's sorry, Maddie Price, she, her. I work at Harvest Against Hunger, which is a nonprofit program of Rotary District 5030. I'm in Seattle in North Beacon Hill. And I guess interesting fact about me is along the theme of living in different places. I grew up entirely in New Jersey, but since then have also lived in Maryland, England, and Eastern Washington.
Wonderful. Excellent. Thank you, Maddie. So now that we have done the introductions, it was a busy day at work for me, so I didn't make a PowerPoint, but we will do the land acknowledgement. We acknowledge with respect that we are on the ancestral homeland of the Coast Salish people, in particular the Duwamish, the first people of Seattle and much of King County, who are still here and continue to embody and practice the strengths of their indigenous cultures, teachings, and values. They have reserved treaty rights to this land, past and present. We need to protect and honor the history and people of this Duwamish land and our indigenous neighbors, the Suquamish, Nisqually, Snoqualmie, and Muckleshoot tribes for their enduring care and protection of our shared lands and waterways. And then we will do the Rotary International Commitment to the Environment to remind us why we're here. We are committed to supporting activities that strengthen the conservation and protection of natural resources, advance ecological sustainability, and foster harmony between our communities and the environment. We empower communities to access grants and other resources, embrace local solutions, and spur innovation in an effort to address the causes and reduce the effects of climate change and environmental degradation. So, now that the opening is finished, Judy and Maddie, would you guys like to give a report on the service project that was completed yesterday?
I'll let Maddie go. She was the author of our grant and coordinator of the program. So I just posted pictures.
Awesome. Yeah, so for additional context for folks, we connected with Horse-Nick Farm, which is a new farm site that's a kind of collaborative space, kind of co-managed by a number of different South King County nonprofits, South King County Food Coalition, International Rescue Committees, New Roots Program, Highline College, Wakulima USA, Shared Soil, and there's one or two more, I think. But basically our project was to build a picnic table and pergola as a kind of shady rest area in their space, since it's kind of all out in the open, and especially for hot sunny days, that'll be especially useful for them. And since they work with many different volunteers, local schools, community gardeners. So yeah, we built that yesterday using these kits that we were able to purchase through the Rotary grant funding, connected with Maggie Rickman, who is the program coordinator at South King County Food Coalition, which is one of our partners at Harvest Against Hunger. And in spite of the rain, we pretty much finished everything except for attaching the curtain to the pergola, since with the rain and the wind didn't seem like the most appropriate part, but the picnic table actually served well in the absence of a ladder for building the pergola frame itself. So we were able to get that done.
Wonderful. Thank you guys for helping to marshal the other volunteers that I managed to get. And I think I'm going to put something in the district newsletter. Judy, would you mind sending me those pictures by email so that I can send those on?
I can do that. And also just to acknowledge that we had 2 volunteers from Federal Way Rotary join us. So thank you, Kimberly, for reaching out to the other clubs and inviting others to come and join us. And we had a member from Shoreline Rotary join us as well. So it was nice.
Yeah, it was an
collaborative effort.
amazing all district effort. So I am so pleased at how this turned out, and I hope that all of our projects are as successful as this one. And so now I want to give you guys an update on our movie nights. We are hosting a movie night jointly with the Eastside Audubon Society, and we're showing a documentary about crows. And that will be at 7 p.m. on October 2nd. And as of right now, we have sold 21 tickets, and altogether we have raised $379.31 for the Eastside Audubon Society. And so I think that is extremely successful. And I've decided that basically anything you can stream on YouTube for free, like, is fair use. And anything you can stream without paying, like on PBS or like freely available channels, like, is fair game. So I think we will have some material so that we can keep doing this. We'll probably take a break in December, but I think for November, we might do one on Keystone Species. And Judy, I was wondering if you wanted to reach out to the Project Drawdown to find out if they would like to co-host with us for November.
I can do that, or Herb, if you have contacts at Project Drawdown, maybe you could.
Yeah, I can check on that.
Okay. Because so far, like, this joint fundraising effort seems like a very successful model. All right, and I don't mean to be rude by not introducing our speakers yet, but now I would like to introduce our illustrious district governor, Howard Cohen, as well as Mia Harris, who is our coordinator of high school and college Rotary clubs. And now I will let you guys introduce yourselves. And then after that, you can go on with your speeches.
Mia, I'll let you go first.
I was just about to say who's going to go first. Well, hello, everyone. Yes, my name is Mia Harris. I am the District Rotoract representative. If you don't know what that means, it's okay. Majority of people don't. It means I'm the mini Howard for the district. So Howard is in charge of all the Rotary clubs and everything that happens at the district level. I do it on a much, much smaller scale. I do it for 6 clubs. We have 4 university clubs and 2 community clubs. And this is young professionals in our community who are making their way into Rotary, but aren't there yet to join the actual Rotary club. So we created Rotoract. So that is me. I am a Rotoractor with the North Shore Rotoract Club and a Rotarian with the North Creek Rotary Club.
Woo-hoo.
Excellent. Thank you, Mia. Howard?
Do you want to give your talk, Mia?
Sure. I can just go straight into what Rotoract. So Rotoract was created for one sole reason. It was the pipeline between Interact and Rotary. So if you've heard of Interact, Interact is the high school version. It is where we have, it's kind of like honor society, but with more volunteering. So that's what Interact is. And we had these amazing interactors, but the problem is they're under the age of 18. So we could not legally collect their information and store in the database. So when these amazing interactors left high school and went off to pursue their careers or go to college, we had no way of tracking them unless you just had a phenomenal advisor that just knew everyone and kept track of everyone's lives, which is not the case because that's impossible because some of these clubs have over 70 students. So they realized we were missing a bunch of young professionals under the age of 30 in Rotary, and they had no idea what to do. So 50 years ago, they created Rotoract, which stands for Rotary in Action. We are solely the pipeline between Interact to Rotary. So you may see us in colleges, universities, and now in the community. Primarily, we focus on 18 to 30-year-olds because we're trying to get all those high schoolers to stay in touch with Rotary. However, in the last 3 years, Rotary International decided to elevate Rotoract. So now the only restriction in Rotoract is that you must be of 18 or older. There's no longer that restriction of you have to be under 30. So you could be retired and be a Rotoractor now. It's a little funky and weird. We're still navigating, but it's been a fun time. So in our district, we have 4 university Rotoracts. So we have, well, 2 university, 2 community college. We have UW, Seattle University, Green River College, and Bellevue College. So those are our college students. And we have 2 community-based. We have the Seattle City Rotaract and the North Shore Rotaract. Many people ask, why aren't there more Rotaract clubs? Because we're a little funky in how we pick our demographic of serving. Rather than picking one city and calling it our home, we cover a large area. So the North Shore Rotaract covers from Duval to Bellevue, and Seattle City covers all of North Seattle all the way to downtown Seattle. So rather than doing one little area, we try to get as many as possible, for the sole reason that young people are spread out and we don't live close to each other at all. So that's what Rotaract looks like in our district. I, as the district Rotaract representative, help them build their clubs, do projects, get grants. This year, we decided to do something really interesting and new to all of us, and we decided to do an auction to support children's literacy, primarily K through 12, and a little bit of adult illiteracy. In the terms of, we are raising money in December to give school district grants on the basis that they'll buy books that are either written by Washington State authors, Native American history or culture, and thirdly, non-English written books. And this is where adult literacy comes in, is that family bonding time that the parents can read to the children in their native language and just build up that public speaking and to get the kids more familiar, because we all know that being able to speak multiple languages is not only cool, but really great for your brain and all of that, especially at a very young age in elementary. So we are providing grants to over 20 school districts that reside in 5030. That is our goal as the district Rotaract committee and all the Rotaract clubs together this year. The fun part is we've never done an auction before, so it's gonna be really funny, it's gonna be hilarious, and it's gonna be a hoot and a holler. So that's a little bit about what Rotaract is. We're primarily young professionals. I've been in Rotaract for 6 years now, and this is now my first year being a full-blown Rotarian. So it's been a fun roller coaster.
Thank you, Mia. Wonderful. Howard, take it away.
And do I have the ability to share the screen?
I believe I gave you that power, but if you don't have it, let me know.
We'll see. Okay. Well, my name is Howard Cohen. I am a member of the Emerald City Rotary Club. We used to meet in the downtown Seattle area, and due to COVID, we're still somewhat virtual. We do have some socials. We plan on meeting starting in a few weeks on a once a month basis at Cornish, which is downtown, kind of on a little north of downtown. So I wanted to meet all of you people. I wish we can do it in person. Maybe we can do it at the US Capitol next time, and maybe meet in the Senate chambers or something. That would be fun. Let me bring up my program here. Oops. You all see that? Can you go? Oh, good. Okay. So it's my pleasure to be here. I want to, let me get this slideshow to go from the beginning. Okay. You guys just got charted on June 22nd at the end of the the previous Rotary year, which was the first one of new clubs starting, which we'll talk about a little bit later. I want to acknowledge and thank Kimberly Peterson as the president and Janice Hogat as the incoming president. So welcome to all of you. And then the rest of you are all presidents in waiting. So I hope you all know that. So I want to talk to you about a word called Ubuntu. It's a word that I came across recently. It's kind of a little bit of a humorous story how it came about, but I'll tell it quickly. I was on a plane on the way home from vacation and accidentally had my phone on, but worse than having my phone on, I had my ringer on. And of course, we all know about Murphy's Law. And as soon as the plane was taking off, my phone rang. So I leaned down, as embarrassed as I was, because everybody was staring at me. And I answered my phone and they hung up. So I was like, that's weird. So I had a number on my phone, but not a name. So I knew I didn't readily know them. So I texted them, because I could still text, and said, who is this? You just called me. Oh, wrong number. So I said, well, wrong number or what, or whatever. Who are you? Let's talk. Because I wasn't comfortable yet in my seat and I just wanted to have a conversation. The people next to me weren't talking. So it turns out this gentleman works down in Phoenix in the hospitality industry, which is what I work in, and the auto business. And I thought that was kind of odd. He said he is a service manager at a dealership and he treats his customers like guests. So I thought that was really cool. So of course I diverted the conversation to Rotary, and luckily I had my seatbelt on, because when I asked him if he knew about Rotary, he said yes. So I almost fell out of my seat. It was like, wow, you know about Rotary? Because if you ask most people, they go, what? And so I was really pleased about that. And he says, yes, I've been to some meetings and galas, but if you really like hospitality and Rotary, you may like this word Ubuntu. So Ubuntu, there's many definitions of it. There's actually a technology platform called Ubuntu. That's not what this is about, but one of the other definitions is it's the essential human virtues dealing with compassion and humanity. And I figured, wow, now there's compassion and humanity. That's what Rotary is. But I take the word compassion and I just go a little bit further, and I come to a thought that I learned, a concept that I learned when I got invited once to go to a Buddhist temple. And the teacher who was there, who during the week was a Microsoft employee, which I thought was quite humorous, his thought was, breathe in suffering, breathe out compassion. Well, I just listened to some of the stuff you just did down in Kent, and that was definitely breathing in suffering of a need and breathing out compassion of building all those programs. So hats off to you on that. So what I want to do is I want to share with you the 7 areas of focus. We now have 7, one that you're very well familiar with as of July 1. And I love acronyms. So I have a really cute acronym that somebody shared with me once that I use to remember all of the 7 areas of focus. And it's PC WEED, WEED being 3 E's. So the first one is peace and conflict resolution. You can see on the left, we deal around the world recently with refugees trying to leave Afghanistan. And on the right, this district alone, as well as others, have planted some beautiful peace poles to bring peace to the area. And hopefully we can do that somewhere when these refugees come here. The next one we're all very familiar with, which is child and maternal health. On the left is a child who was diagnosed with polio. You all know what we're doing with that. Rotary, the Gates Foundation, the World Health Organization, all breathed in the suffering. And you can see on the right-hand side, a Rotarian flying around the world and giving out immunization drops. W, water and sanitation. You can see on the left, a very familiar scene of women carrying water on their head, which is a very long walk. And I'm sure those containers are not light. And on the right, you can see there's a Rotary sign on the wall where wells were built, and now children and families are able to get water without the mothers and the women doing the walk. E, a personal favorite of mine, as I'm in the Emerald City Rotary Club and we're dedicated to the education of young people. You can see on the left, there's a school without classes, and that's something that is not far-fetched. It is in many places around the world. And on the right, we'll come back to about girls later, but you see the beauty and the thrill of being able to give education to girls and students. Another breathing in suffering, breathing out compassion. Economic and community development. The picture on the left is something that you're probably not unfamiliar with, because that's right downtown Seattle with tents and the homeless. And you can see on the right is a tiny house village that's built somewhat by some Rotarians, which we'll come back to in a few minutes. Another breathing out compassion. This one is specifically tied to you guys. Environmental sustainability, that as of July 1 is now an official Rotary focus. And you can see on the left is a recent picture of the 7.2 earthquake, devastating earthquake in Haiti. And on the right, you can see is a shelter box tent with a Rotary symbol that goes around to these places and gives support, physical, medical, and food support. Very, very valuable. The last one is disease prevention and treatment. This is one that's very personal to me. I was diagnosed with bladder cancer 8 years ago. My friend and I started a bladder cancer foundation, and we've raised money, and the money has gone to funding for research. To make a long story short, we have helped bring over $1 million to the University of Washington bladder cancer research team just by starting out a small foundation. Again, breathing in my suffering and breathing out that program. So Ubuntu is a word that is very, very close to what Rotary does. And we ask that you clothe yourselves with compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience. So a lot of the stuff that you recently saw, the shelter boxes, the gentleman going around the world to give the immunization shots and the peace polls and other programs, that is all due through every Rotarian every year. For those that don't know about that, we ask that each Rotary member give a minimum to the Rotary Foundation of $25 with an average for the club of 100, because there are some members who want to give 1,000 or 500 or more, but the basic entry fee is $25. And the most unique thing about this program is that instead of just giving money into the Rotary Foundation and you go, I wonder where that money goes, the district actually gets that 3 years later. It gets it back 3 years later, and that is in district grants similar to what you just got for your projects. So in order to get those district grants, we need Rotary members in our district to donate money to the annual fund, and then again, it comes back 3 years later. 50% of it comes back, or a little less than 50%. So I'm sure that during one of your meetings, someone, especially during Foundation Month, will come and talk about every Rotarian every year. I don't want to take up too much time, but I want to talk a little bit about our strategic plan. This Ignite Your Passion with Action was going to be our district conference theme. Unfortunately, due to health reasons and your health, which is most important, we canceled that. But this is the theme of the district. And we want each one of you, I know each one of you have a specific passion that comes, that brings you to Rotary. And that's something that you should all share with each other as you go through there. Each one, keep one, starts with Rotary President Shekhar Mehta. He has a belief of each one, bring one. And he wants to end a 17-year consecutive number of 1.2 million Rotarians. So when he leaves office on June 30th of 22, he wants it to be at 1.3 million. So he asks that every Rotarian, 1.2 million Rotarians, bring somebody with them to introduce them to Rotary. And hopefully from that, we'll be able to get enough people to get to the 1.3 million. We take it one step further here and we do each one keep one, which really deals with member retention. Now, I know as a new club, I don't know if you've learned about attendance needs, whether you should be taking attendance or not. I think you should, from the point of who's here, who's not here, and really almost buddy up systems so that when someone is missing, someone knows to call them and go, hey, I haven't seen you, we miss you. That will bring people back because they want to feel needed. The other thing is, we definitely want you to share with each other the glories of being in Rotary so that throughout the years you continue to stay on. But retention is very important. Third, something that you all know about personally is the growth of new clubs. Last year, District Governor Kathy Gibson, along with myself and Kay Peterson, who happens to be related to the president of this club, and the governor after, made a commitment to Rotary International that we were going to start 10 new clubs in the district. And we are 4 in right now, 2 at the end of the previous Rotary year that ended in June. One, of course, was this glorious club. You were the first one to be chartered. And the second one is Southeast Seattle, which is a club that is based out of the South End and focuses on the minority community, both in schools, with Franklin, Rainier Beach, and Garfield, as well as minority-owned businesses. If you do want to have a social sometime down the road and just meet for a good time, I would suggest that you consider doing something in the Southeast Seattle area, going to a minority-owned business and letting them know that you're from Rotary and letting them know that there's a new club in town. I think they'd really appreciate that. We are looking at more clubs. We have 6 more to go in the next year and a half. And we're looking at a veterans club. We're looking at a club for musicians and many other clubs. So as you all know, it only takes 20 members to create a club. So if you know of a venue, of a cause or an area that would like to have a club, please let us know.
Only 20 members. Ha!
Only 20 members. Yes. How easy it is, like a snap. The last one, which has even more information as of yesterday, is the idea of breaking down the silos of clubs. You yourself mentioned, somebody mentioned, I think it was Judy, that some club members from Federal Way, if I understood correctly, joined. So the more you can break down the silos and let the other clubs know what you're doing and vice versa, gives those members and your members the ability to go out and do more in the community that might even just touch on another area of interest in those Rotarians. Still keeping them within your club, but understanding that there's a lot more that goes on out there in the Rotary world. The other thing is I bring up service organizations, and I thought I was walking on eggshells at first when I brought this up about Rotary meeting up and working with the Lions organization and Kiwanis and Optimists. But just yesterday, Rotary came out with a publication stating that Rotary is going to be working with the Lions and Kiwanis and Optimists. So we really want to get the word service out into the community in the vocabulary. Gandhi had a saying that said, the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. He didn't say Rotary service, he just said service. So we really want to get service out into the vocabulary. Just a couple of information on some 3 new district committees, and I'll be done soon. I don't want to take up your whole meeting. One is, again, going back to Rotary International President Shekhar Mehta, talking about empowering girls. Suzanne Griffin, very brilliant PhD from Seattle 4, is going to be heading that up. She's worked, her and her late husband, and more recently just her, has worked in Afghanistan to help build all girls schools. You can only imagine what that was like, trying to build an all girls school, and she's a woman dealing with mostly men. She is a very brave woman, I will say. But there's even issues here in our district where girls need to be uplifted. And so she will be coming out with her committee to work on a program to share what we can do to bring better visibility to girls in education, even in our community. Number 2 is literacy is being reignited. Judy Ginn out of Seattle International District. If you're familiar, I don't know if you're familiar from other clubs. I know Judy's from another club. A lot of clubs give out dictionaries, these beautiful hardbound dictionaries to elementary school students. We're also looking to do a Books for the World program. We're searching for a warehouse to do that, but we're trying to collect lightly used books, box them up, send them to Dallas, and then they get sent around the world to countries where people may not have even seen a book, let alone know what a book is. The last one is vocational. We are going to be trying to get some business networking groups out into small pockets of the communities rather than just one centralized location. And again, Paul Harris was a lawyer. He basically started this vocationally, and we definitely want to continue those programs. The end of last year, we voted Bold for Blood to be a project. You can see past District Governor Kathy Gibson giving blood, a beautiful poster on the left. We're asking that you think about once a month. We suggest the 4th Saturday of the month. Go online to bloodworksnorthwest.org to pre-register. Just so you know, only about 35% of the population is eligible to give blood. But if you do get proved to be able to give, please go and give the Rotary code 5030, Rotary 5030. And what better way to give life and love than through blood? I showed earlier a picture with some tiny houses. Some clubs have gone recently and built tiny houses down at what's the Hope Factory down in the Soto area. You can see a picture of 3 past district governors and myself. We actually put up a 9-by-3 foot banner on the wall saying Rotary District 5030. And keep in mind that there's a group there every day. So Rotary is getting great exposure. If you want to help build a house, you can do that on the 3rd Sunday of any month, starting with this month. All you need to do is bring some work gloves and a lunch. It's from 9 to 2. We have a sign up. We can only do 15 at a time. And Connor Talbot, who is my chief of staff, will be sending that out shortly, but we would love to have you. You can bring yourself, your family. The minimum age is 18. You do need to be vaccinated and you do need to wear a mask, but a wonderful, wonderful program. And last but not least is the International Convention coming to Houston in June. There are 3 things that are firsts for this meeting. First is it's the first conference in 3 years because Hawaii last year and Taipei this year was canceled. It's the first conference in the US since 2017. And the greatest first is on the right side of that picture. We will be welcoming into Rotary the first woman Rotary president, Jennifer Jones from Canada. And I would love for District 5030 to give her a very warm welcome at that conference. So very, very exciting to see that. So I will stop the share, and open it up to any questions, comments, feedback that you might have.
Thank you, Howard and Mia. Oh, can you guys hear me? Yeah. Thank you, Howard and Mia, for those wonderful presentations. In the chat, Anne had a very good question. Would you like to say your question, Anne? Are you still there? Well, I think the question was for Mia, and it was, can older Rotarians work as mentors for these clubs? Like, how can our club be involved with the interactors and Rotoractors that you're in charge of?
I don't see Mia. I think Mia left.
Okay.
So I will say that you are more than welcome to visit Rotoract clubs. Rotoractors, I'm sure, would love, the new generation is very much more environmentally savvy and interested in the environment, because that is their future. And so I'm sure that you can I can have Mia contact you with the names and contact information for each of those clubs. And I'm sure they would love to be members, to mentor, as well as be part of your projects.
Wonderful. Basant.
Yeah, I'd just like to give a little bit of input on that. University District and University Sunrise Rotary Clubs sponsor the University of Washington Rotoract Club. So, by sponsoring, they support them financially as well as with projects and stuff, and as well as they come and help us, auctions and other activities that we do. So you can also partner when you talk to Mia, support that. That would be really a good blessing for them, that the Rotary clubs are willing to support them in many different ways. So what that also does is help provide funding for for international conference or for district conferences when they're attending, just to support them financially. So it really works out well. Thank you.
Thanks. Does anyone else have questions for Governor Cohen? All right. Well, you had a very comprehensive speech, so well done.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
If there are no more questions, we can hang out and chat. And if otherwise, you are welcome to enjoy the rest of your week.
I'd like to say thank you, Governor, and the Interact, the Rotoract. That's really exciting as well to get those younger ones involved. Get some passion,
It's true. I agree. And a heartfelt thank you to both Howard and Mia.
Yeah, you bet.
Well, I will share with you that when I was in high school, I lived in a very small community upstate New York, and we did not have a Rotary Club in our area. However, we had a Lions Club. So when I was in high school, I was a Leo, which is the Rotary's version of Interact. And it really does teach you community service and the value of giving to others. So wonderful program. Interact is great. They have a project down in the Maple Valley Club. Maple Valley has an Interact club that they're connected with. And I was there recently to visit their club. And it was wonderful to hear that they have this program for literacy where children read to rescue animals. Instead of reading to their family or friends or teachers or mentors where they can be criticized, they just read to rescue animals who just love to be read to, and they don't get any negative feedback, and it gets the kids more comfortable with reading. I thought that was a brilliant idea. So very fun.
Oh, I think Mia has returned. Welcome back, Mia. We had a question about how our club can work with your clubs.
Yeah, so sorry. The internet at the cafe was terrible and Zoom kept kicking me off my laptop, so I had to switch to my phone. But yeah, in terms of working with the clubs, actually our Rotoract clubs are huge on the environment. I don't know where exactly, I know your guys' club is kind of have people all over. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, so the best way I would say if you're in the greater Seattle area is the North Shore Rotoract actually has a farm project. Twice a week we have a farm we work on, we take care of, we grow the vegetables, we do everything on the farm. We work with 21 acres if you're familiar with it, if you're in the greater Seattle area. Otherwise, if you're not in the greater Seattle area, I would be more than happy to find a local Rotoract club in your area that you can partner with on projects. Rotoractors, the environment is huge for us. It's primarily because a lot of us are being impacted by it because we're so young. So I would say, and if there isn't Rotoract interactors, those high schoolers, they are crazy about the environment too. It's actually truly amazing what our high schoolers are doing in terms of like education and just getting their hands dirty with soil and helping plant trees. So if you're not in the Greater Seattle area, I'd be more than happy to find and connect you with Rotoractors around the US or the internationally. And then if you are in the Greater Seattle area, North Shore Rotoract has some really fun farm projects that we do with 21 acres that we would love to have Rotarians join us in on.
All right. And is there a distribution list if we have projects that need volunteers? We do monthly park cleanups in Shoreline, and we have a monthly project in the food forest in Burien.
Yes. If you have projects, I recommend keeping me on your email list. I don't know if you guys use DACDB or you just send it out yourself. Whichever way, I recommend sending it to me because every month I send an update to all the club presidents on projects that other Rotary clubs are doing that we can partner with them on.
Oh, that's great. So I'll definitely add you to our list, and we'll see about making this work and breaking down more silos.
I would love to recommend that you contact Karma McKay, who does the monthly newsletter, and you can provide her with a calendar. And I guarantee you that's sent to all 2,300 Rotarians each month. And I guarantee you that there will be people coming out of the woodwork to want to help you on your projects.
Yeah, I'm just figuring out DACDB.
Yes.
It's
But
process.
Karma, you can just you can just send her an email. I don't know if you have her email address, but I can get that.
I sure do.
Yeah, perfect.
She's a great resource.
Yep.
All right. And we had a latecomer. Welcome, Janice. Would you like to introduce yourself? You're on mute. There you are.
Hi, everyone. I'm Denise Hogat. I am delighted to be a part of this group. Looking forward to the opportunities to work with the young people. That's very, very, very exciting, Mia. I'm glad you were here and gave your presentation.
Excellent. And I believe that is the end of our business. So I will now end the recording. Thank you for attending, and thank you to our speakers for being here. And have a wonderful week and stay as long as you wish to chat. Otherwise, enjoy your week.